Hey, you, welcome back to the channel. And guys, today we're going to talk Westworld, the episode that everyone's talking about might be the best of the series, the Riddle of the Sphinx. And of course, the Riddle of the Sphinx is referring to the ancient Greek riddle given by this mythological creature that talks about describes a creature or gives us riddle of a creature that turns out to be man. And I believe it goes something like what creature walks on four legs in the morning, two legs in the afternoon, and at twilight, three legs, which is speaking about man when he's a baby. Of course, he crawls when during his life as an adult. He walks upright as a person, and by the time you get to the last part of his life, he's walking on a cane, right? So that represents a type of a third leg or three legs. And so a lot of reasons people believe that this might be the best Westworld is because it answers so many questions, and it brings to light many things that we had questions about. And so first, let's talk a little bit about what was the some of the theories that got answered. One being that Elsie was alive. We do get to see Elsie return in this episode, and she finds out Bernard is a host, right? And she finds out quite quickly because Elsie is a smart cookie. Now, also what was very interesting and what seems to be a very significant part of the episode is the relationship between William and looks like John Delos. I believe his name is John Delos. He's the head of the Delos clan, Logan's father, the head of the Delos Corporation. And we're led to believe in those openings, these opening encounters between Delos and William, that obviously he's been put away. He's there's something wrong with his health. He can't run the company anymore. And my understanding of that, looking at the scenes where I remember in some early encounters, Delos kept alluding to he wouldn't be around. So I was like, maybe he's either terminally ill or he's just talking about his age and that he won't be around in the coming decades to see the future advancements of the Delos Corporation, as he'd be dead, right? So in these scenes, wasn't sure what to gather. I was thinking, well, maybe this is how William takes control of the Delos Corporation due to some illness with the head Delos. But we get to learn that in these scenes, which are well done, I really enjoyed the scenes. I'm understanding that as I gather some research online, that these scenes are very reminiscent of the original Westworld. You see these these record players, these discs playing, and the original Westworld movie took place in 1973, so they didn't have all the advancements in music we have now, like all the digital music and various things like that. So this is basically how you listen to music on disc. And so they had these interesting futuristic looking discs, but you can still see they're pretty much using record players to listen to music. So John Delos is pretty much jamming to this music and dancing and various things like that. So that's just kind of paying homage to the movie. But it just led me to believe that he was not fit to take care of the Delos Corporation, how the scenes are running. He's like, let me get out of here so I can run my company and get back. And William's approaching it like it's some type of psychological or physical issue that Delos has, and that's why he has to stay in this facility. For some reason, it's not dawning on me that this is a copied version of, Delos. That this is the Epic of Gilgamesh, if you will. This is the a method for Delos to be preserved into the future generation. So he's seeking immortality, like a lot of powerful rich people do. They try to conquer death, right? After they've conquered the world. And so this is what's going on, it looks like, with John Williams. They're trying to get his mind to accept his now robot body, right? And this is kind of an interesting twist on Westworld. So we're going in various directions with Westworld. We're going with this artificial intelligence race to become human, or advancement to become human beings, and then we're going back to human beings who are transplanting their minds into hosts to live forever. So you got to kind of but this is also answering many of the theories that we've had before, like many theories of hosts being, or hosts replacing guests and hosts replacing people. Like one big theory was that Ford was going to be replaced by some host, or that Ford always was a host from the beginning. And we're going to get into that, still kind of going on, those theories and rumors, and they're going into other directions, and we'll touch on those in a little bit. But yeah, just a great episode. I mean, I guess I almost have to say that this might as well be my favorite episode of the entire series, with the exception of the bicameral mind, where in season 1, where it explains how this method that they use for the host to get on the road to achieving consciousness. I always like that episode. It was always my favorite. But now this is definitely going to be a companion to that. And I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there. It would be number 2 if not. So that's what you got going on with John Delos. And of course, we still got the rebellion going on with Dolores. Now, what's been one of the main methods of storytelling with Westworld is using all these various timelines, right? So we're still doing that. Now, where I was kind of off is we get to find out that William's daughter, she's a surprise person who comes in. We vaguely heard stuff about her not forgiving him about due to the death of her mother, his wife. And so you see this young lady smoking early on, and they're kind of in the India theme park, the safari or whatever. And she escapes right as the hosts are rebelling and going crazy, and they're killing guests, right? So she's smoking these cigarettes a lot. And I thought about the woman from season 1, who was the director, who was kind of go-to person before Charlotte got there, and before we learned more about William's role and all the other various characters. But I kind of thought it was kind of doing a backstory on her and showing her involvement in it and why she was killed. I thought it was maybe a younger version of her, but wasn't. It turns out to be that she was the daughter of William. And this particular character I'm thinking about, and I can't remember her name, seemed to be kind of a favorite type of daughter of Ford, right? Or I'm sorry, I could be saying that wrong, but there was a relationship with her early on growing up, but I don't think that perhaps it was so much that he was that fond of her, and that we of course see she gets killed in season 1 by Bernard. Now and then we see this mysterious body laying in this bed, and I'm not sure who that is. A lot of us speculate that might be Ford, and so, or maybe Ford can revive her some way. As we did kind of get to find out that Ford was doing all these things in order for this new era of hosts becoming sentient to be ushered in, but at the same time, he was, to stop that, but he wasn't the bad guy, right? That he was only doing this to protect these hosts. So very interesting episode, guys. This thing can go so many ways now. As we've seen what's happened with John Delos, many people are theorizing that a version of William could possibly be, or the Man in Black could possibly be a host himself, an android himself on the path. His entire story, or his entire mission, is to get his mind now to link with the body. And so that's very interesting, because in season 1, it was about getting the host to gain consciousness, just a being artificially created that becomes a real person. And now we got real people that are trying to become hosts, so their minds can link with host bodies, so they can have or not know death. Right, as the words we get a lot in the series, not knowing death, or hosts that don't know death, now humans that won't know death. So this is all very, very interesting, and I really enjoyed this episode, guys. And so those are some of the theories out there. We got to see Maeve, looks like, as she's searching for her daughter. Looks like she's probably gonna possibly find her samurai land, if that's what it's called. We've seen some earlier previews with her exploring through Samurai World. But guys, what I'm a little bit, and maybe I missed it in the episodes, maybe you all can help me out with this, where I'm a little bit, questions aren't answered for me yet, or I'm still off on it, is, where is Westworld located now? Now I'm more led to believe that Westworld is just some isolated place on Earth. Some island, perhaps, as the writer of Westworld, Michael Crichton, he did like to deal a lot with islands like Jurassic Park and various things like this. So is this just another type of Jurassic Park, big theme park on Earth in the future someplace? And that could very well be the case. And it seems like that's what it's going to end up being, as far as location. But they still are keeping the locations and where people are kind of a secret. But he does mention, I think it's when they ask where he's at, he does mention California. So that also leads me to believe, or John Delos does when his the robotic version of himself, the host version of himself, is trying to gain or trying to link his mind to the body. He's talking about California, it seems. Some people say that's also paying homage to the original Westworld. I remember watching the original Westworld in bits and pieces, and a lot of stuff I don't remember about it. I might have to watch it again, but the way this is going looks like this is just vaguely based on that movie, and every now and then they might throw in a few things here and there about it. But really like the episode, guys. Dolores is still trying to get out of the park. There seems to be, with her and Teddy, going to be some disappointment there. Looks like Dolores is getting to the point where she might have to do this thing without Teddy. She was saying Teddy's the only person she could trust at this point in time. But Teddy is still being Teddy. He's still geared toward his programming of the good guy, it seems, and I don't think that's going over well with Dolores. I'm not sure what she's gonna do with Teddy. It might be that Teddy only belongs to Westworld and he's not ready for the world that Dolores is speaking of, it, and she might come to that revelation. So that's going to be all interesting to watch as well. And who did I miss? That was a big part of the story this week? There's always a lot happening in Westworld, and so I want to touch on the major plots, but but guys, really enjoyed it. Really got a lot of information come forth this point in time so far in the story. Gonna be interesting what the Nolans continue to do with this and where we end up with this. Give me your opinions, guys. If you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.